Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to Spiritism and the Media here on Kardec Radio. Today I would like to bring a text from the book Living Spring by Francisco Cândido Xavier by the Spirit Emmanuel, and it is number 116, Go and Teach. So the idea here is for us to see the example of Jesus, as we always bring here in Spiritism. We know, as the Spirit says, that Jesus is our model here on earth. So for us to see his example here and to see how we can follow these examples, these teachings in our daily lives, especially when we are talking about media. So let's see here. Emmanuel brings this passage from Matthew 28:19, when Jesus says, "Therefore, go and teach." And so let's read the explanation by Emmanuel, and then we can talk a little bit how we can connect these teachings to our daily lives. So Emmanuel says, "As we ponder the Lord's commandment to his disciples, go and teach, we need to remember that Jesus himself came and taught. He came from the heavenly heights and taught the way of spiritual elevation to those who are stuck in earthly darkness." So here we see that Jesus was giving that advice to his disciples, saying, go and teach. And this can apply to all of us because we are Jesus' disciples. So when Jesus tells us, go and teach, he is telling us to go and to spread all these teachings that he brought to us. Because he himself, he came and taught. He came and taught not only the disciples, the apostles, the ones who are living with him when he was here on earth, but until today he's still teaching us, because through his gospels, through his examples, we are still learning with Jesus. So we need to see his example, we need to study how Jesus used to do that at his time and see how we can connect that today to our time and try to follow him, try to do the same today. So Emmanuel says, Christ could have given this lesson through faithful emissaries, or he could have spoken brilliantly, explaining how to do it. However, in order to teach surely and fruitfully, he preferred to come to the world of human beings and dwell with them, in order to show them how to live on the pathway to perfection. So here, another point that we all study in the Spiritism is that the best way for us to teach someone, for us to help someone, is to be an example. So when we say teach, it doesn't mean that we need to go to the classroom and teach to students, but by doing the good in our daily lives, we are being examples to others. So we can think, how can I be these examples to others? As many times, just one example here, as many times we saw here, we talked about that here on this show, about being a good example on social media. So think twice about what are you going to post online, because you are giving that image of yourself. We are giving that image whenever we post something on social media. So it is an example, because many other people, many times we have no idea how many people are going to see that, how many people we are going to reach with what we post, so they can see that no matter if it is a picture, if it is a video, if those are words that we write, but they are seeing that and they are taking that as an example. So we are being example. We can be good ones or we can be bad ones. It's up to us. So it's good for us to think, every time we're going to post something online, we're going to do something on the media, on social media, maybe ask, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus do the same? Would Jesus post that if he were here today with us? So that's a good exercise for us to think and to try to put that in our daily lives. And Emmanuel says, thus rather than some other way, he humbled himself and was born in the manger. He honored work and study in the home, and in public he was the providential brother of all, helping each one according to his or her needs. It is inarguably correct that Jesus is called a divine master, not because he has a throne of gold, not because he was the owner of the best library in the world, not because he merely exalted the correct and irreproachable word, not because he ascended the throne of cultural superiority, dictating obligations to his listeners, but because he lifted up his own heart in fraternal love, and teaching made himself a benefactor to all those who received his sublime lessons. So he wasn't a master in a way that he was at the temple teaching. He wasn't a master in a way that he has a throne, as Emmanuel says here, or he has a high position in society. No, so he showed that we can teach whenever we are, whatever position we have here on earth. And we know that today we may be in one position in this lifetime, in the next reincarnation we will take another one because we are learning with that. So it doesn't mean that if we are in a position today that we feel or we see as it's not a good one for us to teach, that we cannot teach, because we can teach whenever we are, whatever we are, so we can teach in many different ways. And just bringing back to the media, we can teach with the media. We can teach if we publish a book, if we can teach if we write a text and send it to someone, can be on a newspaper, magazine, or an email or a letter. We can teach if we do good and if we follow Jesus' teachings and examples. And here Emmanuel says, he spoke to us about the Eternal Father, and through his selflessness, he showed us the best way to search for him. So if you propose to work for the gospel, remember that speaking, advising, and informing are not enough. Go and teach in the words of Christ. Christ means go and set an example so that others may learn how it should be done. So we do not need to teach through words, but through examples, because many times we say one thing and we do another thing. We do not connect what we are saying to what we are doing. So we need to teach through the example. So once we achieve a higher level as Jesus, then we know that we are going to connect the words and the actions, like we are going to be a perfect spirit. We are not there yet. We still have a long road, a long path ahead of us. But until then, for us to reach that, we need to try to follow that example and to connect the words that we say in our daily lives to the actions that we do in our daily lives. So that way we can be an example to others. And always remember that people are watching us. So if we want to help them, we need to do good things in our daily lives, set good examples in our daily lives. That's something very useful and it's very good for us to remember in our daily activities. And now, as usual, I will bring the book Happy Life by Joana de Angelis through the medium Divaldo Franco for us to randomly open a lesson to finish here our study today. So it is lesson 140 and 166. Your importance is in direct proportion to the good that you do on your own behalf. With or without you, life goes on, and the world keeps on turning. Don't think that you are a bearer of exceptional characteristics, without which others would perish and humanity would come undone. Your wins and losses give an account of your real values. Practice simplicity and strive for humility, like a light bulb compared to the sun, and the sun compared to the galaxy. Thank you so much for your company. May God be with all of us. See you next week.